G'day, welcome to Pay It Forward. Now, I've just got a quick video for you today. I wanted to give you a quick demonstration video. It's actually a little glimpse into masterclass because I have so many people who struggle with sewing ears on, and I'm going to give you a little condensed clip of me sewing the ears on actually true blue, and it's one of the clearest videos I have that show you the best way to do that without too much bother. Nobody likes sewing ears on. Well, actually, if you do, leave me feedback in the comments because you're a rarity. I hate sewing ears on, so you're not alone, but this really is the easiest way, and I just thought I would share it with you all, and you might get a little glimpse into masterclass, those of you who haven't seen. So I hope this helps you out, and feel free to ask me any questions afterwards. Enjoy. So ear position is absolutely everything with most things, but particularly with this dog. We want the ears to be sitting upright, and we want them to be really well curved and tucking in. We don't want them sitting straight across the head like this, and we certainly don't want them pointing outwards like this. So how you pin is very important. I have warmed this one up with my blow dryer because I had the bolts in there, so I couldn't iron it. Warmed it up, and I have already got my first one into place. And now what I need to do is match it up on the opposite side. If you are not using Warbler, you would have glued your earpieces together, and you'll be curling them in the same way. And that glue should give you a fair bit of stand-up hold. So I'm going to take my second ear and I'm going to warm it up with the iron and get it nice and warm and pliable, and we have to work quite quickly once it's warm to fold that onto the head and let it set before we stitch them on. So working quickly to get this ear in place here, I've got it nicely warmed up. Take a pin and put it straight through the front seam there. I've already got a pin the other side which lines up with this one, so I can remove that temporary ear, and I'm going to over angle the pin. So the pin's coming out this way, I'm going to take it into the head that way. That's going to help us get that ear to sit up straight. I first want to make sure, because I'm looking at it from a different angle than you are, that I've got that in the right position. Right, so the second pin goes back just a little way. We actually pull the ear right back and we pin it just about on the seam line, and that's going to anchor that in place. And then we're going to curl the rest of the ear around and bring it to the front. And again, we want to make sure that we're lining up with the opposite side. I will check that exactly in a moment. I'm just trying to keep it in camera view for you. Pop that one through and into the head. The other thing I like to do right away is get my thumb and curl that section. So I'm pushing that section out and come in from behind with a pin to hold that. I'm encouraging that ear up. Remember, it's all still nice and soft, and I'm checking it all ways. So you need to look at it from the top, from the bottom, from front on, and make sure you've got everything matching each side. And once you have, go round and pin the entire base of the ear. If you pin from behind, it helps pull that ear up and keep it standing up. If you've got it in the wrong position, just take it back, reheat it, and have another go at it. And if you do have your ears sewn on and you've got Warbler in them and you're not entirely happy with the way that they're sitting, you can heat them up and reshape them. And you can always hold them in place while it's cooling with pins. So if you're using the ears, which are the fold over ears, you're still going to pin them on like this first. So you pin them on like this and they'll be upright, and then use a blow dryer to warm up that Warbler to pull them down. When you do pull an ear down to a fold over ear, you need to have them sitting against the head. So don't have the ear pulled down and sitting out. They naturally sit and fold against the head, just like bongos. So if you've made bongo, you'll see how I did those. So I'm going to really check that, make sure that is all lined up. When I'm happy with that, I'm just going to let those cool. We're going to come back and stitch them on. I'm happy with that ear position now, and those ears have cooled, so we're going to sew them on. So how we start is we come in at the back of the head. So I've got a knot in the end of a long strand of extra strong thread. It's just a single strand. So I've just come in anywhere there, and I'm going to bring my needle out at the starting point on the head, right at the front point of that ear, where that pin is. Bring that one all the way through. If you've got a fairly wide weave, that knot should just pop in. If not, just give it a little help with your awl, just making that entry hole a little bit bigger so that knot will pop in and be hidden. And then that should hold there at the front. Our first stitch, now normally, you've seen me sew ears on before, and I go into take up some of the ear into the head, and I come out somewhere at the back of the head. I go back into that same hole and back again, and I keep working through the head that way. A lot of people have told me they have some trouble with getting divots in the head doing that, so today I'm going to show you another way. So with this way, I'm going to dive into that ear at the front there, into the head, and I'm going to come out at the base of the ear here. Just as we did at the top here, just going to come out at the base. Pull that one all the way through. And you can see that's pulling that front section down. So now I'm at the bottom of the ear. I'm going to take some of that ear, dive in. I'm going to go back up to where I started. At the front of the ear. It's easy to do it this way on this dog because nice big ears, and everything's very visible, and we've got plenty of room to travel that needle. So I'm going to go back and forth 3 times. So this is the 3rd time I've come down. So now I know that the front and the lower edge of the ear are really securely in place. That's held it beautifully. And we've only come out there and there, so there's nothing to be seen on the head. So I'm going to take some more of that ear at the front there. This time I'm going to bring my needle out just a little bit further along on that ear. I can do it from behind or from the front. If you do it from behind, it tends to pull that ear up a little. It helps sit that ear up. I can remove that pin now because I'm sure that's sitting nice and secure. Turn that one around. So now I can dive in to the back of that ear and come out just a little further along here. Right at the base of that ear. Pull that one nice and tight. We're going to go back in and do the same thing. We're going to come out and go just a little bit further along. So you can see what I'm doing this time is I'm just going through the head, but I'm coming out on the base of the ear each time. So you can work your way along the lower edge of that ear and you'll get it all sewn on perfectly. And there'll be nothing to show at the back at all. You wouldn't do this with a smaller ear. It's just too tricky. But on this one, it's nice and visible, and you've got plenty of room to go back and forth. So you can see I'm just traveling up a little higher each time and a little further. When you're all done and you feel like it's quite secure, you can do a couple of big cross stitches back again to the base and to the top, just to make sure it's all anchored on, and you'll end up with the perfect upright ear.